cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake.
Well, he's enjoying strawberry cheesecake, folks. Welcome back to our top 100. Actually, now it could be called top 50. This is
Yeah,
where
even though
things
you
get.
called your number 210 top 100.
Well, I just used that image. But the thing is, though, we're counting down to the top 100, is what we were. Now we're in the top 100. So here we are, number 50. Oh, wait. I forgot to set this up. I'll go first. My number 50 has been in my collection for 3 years. It debuted at 81. Then it went up to 41, and it just shot down 9 spots, which is mainly all new games, just jumping over it. And I have to give a caveat. It's the old version of Council of Four. Council of Four is, and let me go ahead and share this, but Council of Four is a wonderful game. Let me tell you it's a little bit of hand management, route building. This is the version I have, and this is the version you want to get, just because it looks much better, the wooden meeples, than the, there it is. Yeah. Oh man, that looks beautiful. The wooden meeples. This is the old version. Simon redid this, and it just looks hideous. It looks ugly.
Really?
You
I
can
feel
get
like
this.
they would kill that. What?
Oh, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. But Simon's, you can get this for dirt cheap. The Simon version. And to be honest, it's probably a little bit better. There's a route that's a little bit too powerful to build. Like everyone should go for it first if they know how to play the game. I haven't told anyone that, and I don't think anyone's figured it out in our gameplays, but I don't do it first. I complete other routes before I complete that one. But I heard the new version, kind of repairs that. But this old version has 3 double-sided boards that can be flipped around different angles, so you can have different paths. Like I said, it's hand management. You got simple actions you can do on a spreadsheet, and through it, you are. That's not a good picture there. There we go. You're trying to grab these cards to influence that council. Now, sometimes you can grab another meeple of a certain color and bump them off, bump one council member off. So purple is the next one to get bumped off. And let's say I put an orange guy on the council there. You can switch up that council to however much you look like 2 blues, a pink, and a white, or 3 blues and a black. Whatever you want to look for. And once you have the right influence, it's to say, see, there's all the actions there. Easy to learn what you can do. But once you play this game, you really get in the flow of it. You're influencing them to get one of those tiles that are in front of them. Now, those tiles show the locations on the board where you can build, like your little cities and whatnot. And I can't remember who that white guy is. I think that's the Pope. I think
Of
you can
course.
if you influence his council, you can build wherever he is. He doesn't have to be on a particular place. He moves around the board, but you can build in those areas. And what you're trying to do is establish this route system. Because when you start connecting to these cities, you get their bonus in that city, but then when you connect it to another city, you get that bonus again, plus the building you just connected it to. So there's different strategies in this game. Of course, you're drawing these different cards, trying to influence the Council of Four in these provinces to build in your area and establish a wide-ranging network of houses like so. It is a smooth game because there's only just a few moves to do, and it is so much fun. But this is the old version. It's beautiful. It's lovely. And then when you look at the new version, let me see. I'm pull it up actually right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
It's
to see the.
gaudy and ugly and hideous. That.
I mean, I don't hate the cover. What do them pieces look like?
Let's look at these. Oh, that's not it. That's the old beautiful cover. There it is now. It's got all these minis that
That
I
looks
don't know.
crazy nice though.
For me, I just didn't like it. Now you can get this version. This is the new version. You can get the new version for super duper cheap. But see, the thing is, look how
You
you're
don't like the
influencing.
artwork there?
But
That
look how
artwork
I
is.
hate the artwork and I hate the minis because now you're influencing the council. You're just taking one and I guess shoving them to the side. They're not in like a little stable like they are in the meeples. That to me just don't look right.
I'm sorry, that looks crazy good.
Okay, well, there you go. There's the new and improved Council of Four. It looks like garbage. I
I
like the
see
old
why you
version.
like that one. It looks like a queen game.
It should have been a Queen game. It's that good. It's that good. Okay, so what is your number 50, sir?
I gotta keep it simple for y'all. Mine is actually Hive Pocket. Uh,
Did you
I
say Hot Pocket?
Hive HIV. Yeah,
Oh, I thought you said, I thought you were snacking again on us. Hive Pocket.
yeah, Hive Pocket. It
All right.
so it is the main kind of pocket size game that I will bring out to places. My essentially it is a kind of like it's an abstract strategy game where you have bugs with different abilities. The goal is you are trying to protect your bee while you surround your bugs completely around their bee. Now it can be a combination of yours and theirs. However, when you lay a tile, only the first two can touch. Outside of that, yours can only touch your tiles. So you have to use their abilities to work their way around to eventually cover up their queen bee. The abilities are really smart. If you focus on, or you get the Hive Pocket version, it actually comes with the expansion. If you get the larger one, it doesn't, unless they did some anniversary one by the time you see this. But as of current, that doesn't exist. You got to get like an expansion like that because the Hive Pocket comes with all of those. It'll have the
Mm.
ladybug, um, and the
So
I
this
forget
this
what it
is the
is.
actual game here, and this is what you're talking about, Hive Pocket.
Yeah, Hive Pocket is great. The mosquito and the ladybug are the ones that are in an expansion if you get the larger set. But
Gotcha.
the abilities are really sick. The game's really fast paced, and it's on like a domino material. So like you can bring it at like a restaurant, the beach. You don't care if it gets dirty; you just wash it off. It's a game that's gonna last the test of time, much like dominoes. I think it's such a relaxing game, and my girlfriend really loves this game. She isn't that big on really heavy strategy games, but she's really good at this game. We definitely go back and forth on this, and it's one of the few strategy games that she'll actually sit there and we'll just hang out and just casually play it. It's an easy game to teach as well. I like it again because it fits right in your pocket. It's really small.
So this is one of those just bring out and play whenever you have availability. I had one of those pocket games. I don't think I have it anymore. I had no, I still have a few. But it's like an LCR, right? You just bring it out and you can bring it out anywhere.
Yeah, it's in this little pouch. Yeah, it's just anywhere. Like restaurant
Yeah,
is like the big thing. If we ever go out to eat, I don't do a whole lot of that now. But when I would just bring it out on the table. I didn't care, drink
right.
kind of mess. You don't want to play a card game at a restaurant. You know what I mean? So it's nice.
I got you. I got you. No, that's nice. That's a good one. Good pick there. All right. So my number, we'll go to 49 here. Oh my, hold on. Trying to find my number 49 on there it is. All right, so my number 49 has been in my collection since let me see. Yeah, since I've been doing this list for 6 years. I think this is its sixth year in my list.
6 years you've been doing this list? Ooh.
I think so. I think I've been doing this for 6 years, building up boxes and everything, building up games. So this one has been in my list for 6 years. Started off at number 11, almost made it to the top 10. Moved
Oh
down to
wow.
20, moved down to 26, down to 41, down to 46, went up to 28 because my wife played it with me. And if the missus likes it, it goes up. Unfortunately, the missus didn't play it with me this year. So it drops back down to 21. It has never been outside of my top 50.
Hmm.
Now that I realize this, it's never been outside my top 50. It barely makes it in here, which is good because it is a co-op game. Co-op games don't make it high on my list because I don't have many people wanting to play it with me. Flashpoint, Fire Rescue.
Really?
I just
I've
think this
I've
game
never
is,
played it. It looks awesome though.
oh yeah, to kind of talk about kind of tie in a catchphrase from your Hive Pocket. This game is the bee's knees. That's a stretch. Anyway, who says bee's knees? It's a co-op game where you are firefighters and you are taking on a fire, rescuing people, getting them out. You have certain abilities. That's an old version there. See if I can get some of these nice clips here. man, you get the smoke tokens and everything, trying to break down doors, different scenarios, different special abilities, different firefighters with special abilities. It's a great game. You can tier it as easy or as hard as you want to. And there's several, I have all the expansions. There's several different scenarios. Here they're showing wooden meeples. Mine are actually figurines. I'm trying to see if they'll.
Yeah, I remember the one with figurines.
Yeah, I've got the ones with the figures on them, and they're just great. But the artwork's really good. Each and every person is excellent to have, and sometimes you need certain people for certain situations, certain scenarios that you're playing. Some of these are so hard, I haven't even beat them yet. I used to play this game a whole heck of a lot when I first got it, and now it comes up every once in a while because my prior game group, again, not big on co-ops because they feel like everyone wins and we're too competitive to have everyone win a game, I
I
guess.
feel that.
I don't know. But you can also be a dog here. You can also rescue cats and dogs, but you can also play as a dog as well. So, man, I can't find a
Does the dog put
single
out fires?
picture with like things. Yeah, you're putting out fires, putting out smoke. It's action points, action point based.
What is he licking the flame, the dog?
As your dog is basically just rescuing. I don't have any of those picture things, but anyway, it's such a fun game. My wife played it last year. She sat in with me while I had to go get pizza for everyone. It took me forever to get back, but when I got back, she didn't want to leave her seat because she was just engaged in putting out this fire and saving out. Well, you don't put out the fire; you're just trying to rescue people to get them out before the fire gets out of hand. And this game can swing like this. I mean, one false move, roll the die, and things just go haywire, and you're gone. Firefighters can die, which is kind of funny. You can send 3 firefighters to die, and you just have to draw a new card with a new special ability. We make it random just to have some fun with it. But yeah, like I said, scenarios depending on the expansion. They came up with one called, I think it's called Extreme Danger. It was so much fun, but it's really friggin' hard, which is how co-op games go. But I've always liked Flashpoint Fire Rescue. It's still in my top 50 right here at 49. What is your number 49, sir?
I'm starting to think your wife likes co-op games.
I hope she does. If she, like I said, it traveled up because she played it with me as the main reason it traveled up last year. This year she didn't play it with me, so yeah. But if she had, it would have moved up uh, again because anything she likes, if it's going to get played more, it's going to get played more. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
It'll move up that list. All right. So what's yours? Number 49.
49 is actually going to be Cube Quest. I did a review early on my channel for this one, and it is probably one of my favorite two-player games. There's a few that go a little bit higher than it, but there aren't a whole lot that I get to the table as frequently just because of how simple the setup is, how easy it is to teach. It's basically like crossbows and catapults means dice, and you're flicking the dice to take out the king out of the castle. And each of the dives actually have their own abilities. Now, minor disclaimer, this version of the game is out of print. However, I did notice on BGG that another company, I want to say it's Cosmo, ended up kind of doing a reprint for this game. I think they might have called it something different. I'm not 100% sure. I know BGG will show it under versions under the tab if you're interested in looking at it, but the game is a blast. I love the different abilities, and the cool thing is you have access to build your own armies. You create army based on, I believe it's a 40-point system, so you can add a bunch of the like little ogres because they're cheaper. However, when you flick one of your dice onto the other side, it actually shows a gray side, so it's almost like a faded side. If it shows that, your opponent removes it from the board and rolls the die. If it shows another grade point, it's removed from the game. If it shows a solid, it gets put back to your side. But if you spend less on it, the chances are it'll have more gray sides to where they'll get eliminated quicker. If you spend a little bit more, you'll get something a lot stronger. There's the ice guy who you can like put it on top of to like freeze their pawns. It's a lot of fun. If you can get your hands on this, again, I'm hoping the reprint is like just readily available to everyone because I think it's a blast. And That's the best I got for you. If you like flicking games, you like 2-player games, and you like dexterity, that's a solid one.
Yeah, you do like this game. I remember you telling me about this game.
It's a lot of fun.
You like the flick 'em games, don't you?
I wanted to like more of them, but I got disappointed a lot. But yeah.
All right, my number 48, been in my collection for 3 years. It debuted on the list at number 91. It moved up to 57 last year. This year, it crawls into my top 50. It is Benjamin Safirs. I've mentioned tons of his games already. This is his best game so far for me. And what basically put him on the map for me, I started noticing him after this game, was Crown of Imara. Oh, what's better than one rondel, folks? Two rondels. That's what's better. And this game has you going off two rondels. One of them basically gathering resources, the other one spending those resources in different parts of the town. You get to decide where you want to go. You're drafting cards, taking those actions, getting those resources, of course, trying to make those actions as powerful as you can to build or gather citizens and build houses for them. Oh man, it looks like on paper when you bring this out. Well, let's see. There's a picture of that's just half the board there. Trying to
Ooh,
get okay. There you go. You bring all that out,
Jesus.
and you're like, wait, is this one game? Yeah, it's one whole game. You're thinking, nope, can't do that. And it is the simplest game at its core. It doesn't lose anyone. I can teach this to anyone, even people who've never played a game before, who aren't into games that much. They can usually get this pretty quick. Now, it does take a while to master it, but you understand the basic mechanics of it. But it is a really sweet game. Of course, some great art as well.
For the ignorant,
Say
is a
what?
rondel for the ignorant peeps like
It's not
myself?
a it's not a it wouldn't be a gateway game. I'm just saying that even though
No.
it looks pretty heavy, the mechanics of it are pretty simple. You know, just if it is, go into you're out in the country gathering resources, or you're in the city spending those resources and turning them into more or less victory points.
I meant
And
I meant in terms of ignorant, I mean like rondel. Rondel, does that mean you're moving around in a circle? That's my
yeah,
assumption.
yeah, yeah. You're moving around in a circle.
All right.
You're in this one, you're moving around in two circles. You can only
Gotcha.
go X amount of steps depending on your card position. And you're taking actions plus any bonus actions. You may have to work in those areas to get bonus actions. You set up little huts that can give you double actions so you can get more resources or something like that, or special abilities.
Gotcha.
And really, really, really a lovely game. So I love Crown of Amar. It keeps getting better and better. It's always been in my top 100, but it keeps climbing up every year. It's because it's an
Hmm.
awesome game. All right. Also should be a queen game. That's how good it is. Should be a queen game. If that's what you want me to say.
That's what you want to say about all your games.
It should be a queen game because it's so good. I tell you what, Queen Games does not pay me, but they should. They should because
It's an email away.
I'm a fan. That's right. That's right. All right. So, what is your number 48?
My 48 is going to be How to Rob a Bank. I actually have been getting a lot more mileage out of the game as of recent. I haven't really been too familiar with the programming of game, like that concept of having cards that program your moves ahead of time. Basically, you either have one group that's going to be the cops, one individual who's a cop, and the other ones who are robbers. What you end up doing is you have your own deck that you shuffle and separate depending on how many players, of course, and you choose which card you want to lay out first. So first, you will have your card, and you'll go in clockwise order. So the first robber, the second robber will play their card. It can be to move, it could be to take loot. It can kind of have a combination of both. And then your each one of the robbers will do it, and then the cop will play theirs because they'll get to see what the robbers are doing. And they'll try to like plan ahead. And then what happens is once you play out all the cards in your hands, you now you reenact it all. So you go through the cards and you actually do the actions. So it's so smart because everything can get twisted. It can go from pepper spraying, um, the cop to getting pepper sprayed yourself, getting hit with the baton, stealing the loot, and essentially you want to steal the loot and bring it back to your vehicle, which is constantly also potentially moving around the board as well. I like that version that you see there. I currently do not have that version, but that does look nice. But
Is this the newer version?
I want to say it is a newer version. It is by my favorite peeps at Prospero Hall as well, which I was pretty surprised to see. I I want to say that one as well may have a lot larger of a box, while the one that I have is really small and compact, which I also really like, which is a good selling point for me to get it to the table. But it's a really simple game at its core, but the strategy is so heavy because you really do have to plan ahead. Because if you now know what the cop's doing next, you kind of have to plan after that to figure out how you're going to get out of that if he ends up actually catching you guys. It's a lot of fun. It gets more difficult, obviously, with the more players that you have. They'll have more freedom, and there's a few other things. In terms of replayability, those kind of pathways are tiles, so you can shuffle them up and rearrange them in any order, so it's constantly different. No one game will ever be the same. So it's dope. I like it.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. How do I break? Yeah, this is one I need to try out. You've you've talked about it before. It looks interesting. It looks like it's a lot of fun. So I would definitely want to try that one.
Yeah, it's a good follow up to Robo Rally if you guys like that game. I feel like
Yeah, programming and everything. I like that because I do love Robo Rally. But yeah, how to rob a bank. That seems like a neat theme and it looks cool.
Mhm.
All right, so my number 47, been in my collection. Oh, this is its second year? Dang, I feel like I've had this forever in my collection. How did I live without it? That's odd. It was number 84 when it debuted on my. I swear, I think I've had this for. I could have swore I had this for years, but no, I had it
The
last
Queen
year.
game.
It was 84. It shoots up 37 spots, almost getting the "What Was I Thinking" award. I don't know how to pronounce it. Simmer.
Simurg. Yeah.
Schmoog. If anyone loves the show or the movie How to Train Your Dragon, you need to get this game. It's super cheap. It's probably one of the worst covers in the world, meaning such misleading. Because you look at this, you're like, okay, it's about bird riders, because that looks like a bird. Yeah, the dragons don't look like your scary. I mean, some of them look like your run-of-the-mill dragons, but dragons can look like anything. But this looks like the people are just riding on birds. And Samur doesn't really tell me anything about the game either. So sadly, because of that misleading cover and kind of a lame name, people pass it up. But let's look at some of the artwork on some of these dragons. Look at that. Space dragon, son. There's
Oh,
another dragon.
well,
So
I would have
basically,
never got that from the cover. What were they thinking with
no,
that
see, look
cover?
at this. This is awesome. Put some of this stuff. Put some of put that on the cover. Put that on the cover. Put them facing each other. Look at this.
Ooh, I
Put this
googled
thing.
it. Simurg is a benevolent mythical bird in Persian mythology and literature.
Well, good for them because no one you had to
Like
Google
a
it to understand it.
phoenix. So like
Now, here's
phoenix.
here's another thing that went wrong. They gave you wooden bits, but for some
Oh,
reason these are
plastic,
I
acrylic.
think I think they're acrylic. And everyone thinks acrylic's nicer. It's not. But no, they're not acrylic. They may be plastic. It's been a while. I don't know. Either way, though, I don't know why they just didn't make them more wooden. And
Yeah, that does seem like a
see, with
mishap.
all the bits, trying to find something with all the bits and
And
pieces
they're
on it.
so thin. That makes me sad.
Yeah, that's the only thing. You look at that and you think, oh, wow, that is terrible. But you look at all the other stuff you can get. There's a wooden meat and veggies and some cubes, which create stone and wood. Some are just cardboard punch outs like scrolls and spears.
Oh, that's
Uh,
annoying. I don't like that cross mix up.
yeah, and it has just a cross mix of supplies. But anyway, it's worker placement. Okay, so I love worker placement. Kind of simple. You go someplace, you collect or trade, convert goods to get different things, to get more men, to get more workers. But the thing is, sometimes to get things, you have to sacrifice workers. So the game forces you to keep going back and generating those previous. Sometimes you have to sacrifice dragons to get points, so that you have to go out and train some more dragons or get some more dragon riders. And you can have a limited number of dragons as long as you take the time, to build them up and train them. You can use their special abilities. Each dragon has its own special ability. There are expansions to this game. I have them both and I play with them. It is a table hog when you have everything there, but this game is
Mm.
so smooth. It flows great. Like I said, the artwork is beautiful. The game pieces are kind of hodgepodge, but other than that, there's another expansion too. The other expansion has to deal with wizards, and that's kind of neat because you're trying to cast spells to go along another route, another board route, and you're getting special abilities or special bonuses to help out your main quest, which is on the other side of the board. We even have I don't remember what the expansion is called now, but we even have a house rule where once the wizard has made it through the path, if he makes it to the end, there's only like usually 1 or 2 turns left. The wizard has nothing left to do. Well, you can go ahead and just bring your wizard over to the main board and use him as a worker, is what we said. It's almost like a reward for getting to the end early. Again, that was just a house rule, but lots of beautiful pieces. The game does have, I think it has some mini expansions too. Now that I think about it, but I got those on Board Game Geek last year, so they're still available. And some are okay, some are not. They're mini expansions. They're nothing wowed me there. But the game as is, wonderful. Didn't get the love it probably deserves based on this, you know, because I really don't like that. But the
That
pieces,
cover does not
man,
flow
the
with what's
cover,
in
the
the game.
cover doesn't look good at all.
Uh,
I mean, look at this dragon art. Look at that
it
dragon
looks
art.
great. Like, I don't know why they didn't hire the same artist. That's a missed opportunity.
See, for real. Or they decided to put a bird on there. It makes no sense. Do any of those look like birds? Well, maybe the second row first one there looks like a peacock. But the thing is, though,
It's a
you got,
cooler looking bird.
you got all of these awesome dragons and you show a bird. I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is, Samur is so cheap to get, and such a great game. If you love worker placement, trust me, you're going to like this game. All right, number 47, done. Done.
Let's go.
In the bank, as you were telling, as he was telling you how to rob it. So, what is your number 47?
47 is going to be Valley of the Vikings.
I knew it. I
I like
knew this game was going to be on there. Is it your now? Yeah, you can tell me this. Is it your highest? I want to know if it's your highest. Oh, wait, hold on, wrong one. I want to know if it's your highest Haba game because I
no,
guessed it would be. No,
no. It's like it keeps fluctuating. It depends on how much I play of the other game. But
I'm trying to
no,
think
it
what other
is.
games you like. You
Uh,
really like Valley of the Vikings.
oh, I love it. I love hobby games, but
You do.
Valley of the
You're a Haba.
Vikings.
You're a Haba game fan. You're a Haba. You're a Haba man.
Well, this game was so they're more popular with children's game. If you're not familiar with Haba, this is a kind of a little step up in the strategy element of kids games. It's definitely kind of leaning more towards family weight as opposed to just children. This game is a blast. Surprisingly, a lot of more strategy than I would imagine. I don't want to say a lot of strategy because obviously you can play your own and it'd be way more.
Notice there's nothing but kids playing here, but keep going.
But there's dexterity element to it that makes it so much more funny. So it's almost like bowling where you're knocking down those pins, but the colors that you knock down are what tokens move forward. So you can screw your opponents by knocking theirs ahead of yours to make them land off of the board so they don't get any value that turn. However, there's also times where you can screw yourself, or even sometimes where you just straight up miss and hit the wrong pins. It's so funny. There's so much like thought that can go into it as to planning how you organize it for your opponent, because when you knock down the pins, you also reorganize it for them. So they obviously can't just reorganize it to try to cheat. So you can set them up for failure. It's a lot of fun. I've played this a good amount of times. It's one of my second most played hobby game for sure. Uh, this is a solid one. I highly recommend checking out some videos on it if you're interested in learning a little bit more. But It's a selling one for me, or a big seller for me, especially family weight. Like if you like family games, that's the one.
That's the one, huh? I thought this was going to be your top one, and
Can't
now I'm
can't.
trying to see real quick if I can guess what your other one is. I should know it, since and I'll probably kick myself, but I knew Valley of the Vikings would be up there. I knew it would be because you were such a big fan of this game.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
Let's see what
my number 46. Been in my collection for 3 years. Started off at 148 because I found out that the guy had sold me an incomplete copy and I was pissed. And he was like, after I bought it from him, secondhand on a BGG, I said, "Hey man, it's missing some tokens." He went, "Oh yeah, well if it's missing, I don't know where they are. So you just reach out to the publisher and they'll probably give you some replacements." I went, "You're so lazy. You knew it wasn't. You knew it was incomplete." So it kind of pissed me off. I ranked it low. I'm saying this because 2 years later it would rank in my top 50,
Hmm.
basically going up, 200 spots, 100 spots since then. Last year, when I got the pieces in, I went, "Oh, yeah, this is a good game," but it just missed my top 100. It was 101.
Hmm.
And so this year, not only does it get in, but it shoots up 55 spots. And I'm going to be honest, I think it's because of a mini expansion I got this summer. It is called Explorers of the North
Mm,
Sea. Now, you know this one. Have you played this one?
I haven't played any in that series, but
Oh,
I've
you
been
haven't played?
very
Okay.
curious.
I have a feeling you'd like this one.
Hmm.
It's action points, and basically anything goes. There's hundreds of different ways to get victory
Oh,
points in the game. Of course, there's some area control. There's set collection. There's just buildings can give you generate more points. Having controls of islands, like I said, the area control.
I love tiles.
You're and it's so simple. You're placing a tile, taking 5 actions, moving on. Next player, let's go. Lots of great, animal meeples. That's the set collection, is collecting those animals. You're fighting one another, you're raiding villages, lots of strategies. You're having to do these buildings will give you different abilities that you'll really need, but you got to build them up. Every person on their player board has a special goal. It's separate from the other people. So you feel like you may be winning, but how good are they doing on their special goal? They can get victory points on that you can't. So it kind of keeps the game a mystery of who is leading until the very end. And the mini expansion I got, I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called now,
You holding a
but
pig? That's
he's
genius.
holding a pig, he's putting a pig on his head. But the thing is, though, the other one's taking a pig. They got pig, sheep, deer, goat. I mean, whatever. They got everything. But the thing that really got me is this new mini expansion basically doesn't force you. The artwork's nice too. Renegade Games. I know Bernardo is a big fan as I am. And like I said, with an incomplete game, I was pissed off. When I had a complete game, I guess I just wasn't over it yet. I don't know why I didn't rate this in my top 100. It was right outside, but for some reason I didn't rank it. And now I've played this game so many times. It's in my top 50, and it's just lovely. It's lovely. They're not going to ever make any more expansions for it, that's for sure. But
I
it,
like the series. I liked all the
yeah,
different ones. It's
I,
pretty
I've
cool.
never played Shipwrights. Shipwrights doesn't feel like it's for me, but Explorers is definitely for me. It's an easier game than the Raiders, but it's a whole lot of fun. I cannot tell you, but this little mini expansion has you achieve certain objectives to get one additional action point per round. You stop thinking about strategy and you just try to go, because see, if you're the first one, you get the lowest, you can get in and get the lowest card for the lowest amount, but then it gets harder to achieve those goals the more people start getting them. And so you want to get them early, so people start going on quests that don't even have to deal with their action, because the game can end pretty quick, but you're not gathering victory points. You're trying to get that one additional action point. I'm wondering if how well that's worth it, because you only get a set amount of actions to take care of. So But if you can get one, two, I mean, I did achieve them all. I was losing the game because I had spent too much time achieving those little personal goals. But after I was getting 8 actions per round and everyone was getting 5 still, I caught up. I barely caught up though. But I do love Explorers of the North Sea, my number 46.
I like this one. I'm gonna look into that more.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, we both had Vikings, back-to-back Viking ones
Well,
here.
let's see if we can get another back to back because I got my favorite Hobby game coming up next. Are
Oh,
we ready? This is gonna be number 46.
yep, 46.
Rhino Heroes Super Battle. Heck yeah, it had to be this one.
Oh,
Heck
so
yeah.
I was off by one. So this one barely ranks above it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No,
Awesome.
I cannot deny this one because Rhino Hero Super Battle is one of my nephew's absolute favorites.
So we even took it a step further. I got 2 copies of the game.
Of course you
And
did. So you
I
can
talked
play with.
about this in the review. I actually was able to get it to stack up to touch his chandelier. It was the most ridiculous thing. We were so excited, standing on chairs, just trying to land the guy up there so carefully. It is such a perfect party game. I could say family game for sure, but like it could be a really good party game because what you're doing is you have kind of these cards that say whether or not you're making a little house or a combination between big and tall, and you're constantly stacking it up. You're creating a tower, and then you're rolling a die to have your little hero pawn move all the way up that amount of levels, floors. So each kind of top layer is a floor. So you're moving your character and eventually you're trying to be on top. If the building gets knocked down, you knock it down, the person who's on top wins. If the person who's on top knocks it down, everyone else wins. So they have kind of a mechanism too, so people don't just knock it down when they're on the top. But it is a lot of fun. It is very tension building. And like I said, if you get 2 of them, man, this thing can get crazy high. Like you think that's high, like it's just ridiculous. I love it. Runner Super Battle, man, Habba's killing it with these, but I like
Now,
the most.
Rhino Hero Super Battle. We played the most epic game we played was probably the first year I got this game. And I remember because I introduced it to my nephews and we made it through almost all the tiles in the base game. I mean, every time, I think I must have taken, oh gosh, 3 or 4 pictures with my phone after every turn. I said it's going to fall. It's going to fall this round for sure. We kept laughing and giggling. This is the game where you turn the fan off, everyone stands up because no one wants to rock the table. I mean,
Can't
you
sneeze, nothing.
you can't sneeze and everyone is engaged even when it's not your turn. People are just glued. And that's a good game. That's a good game. Good pick for your favorite
I don't
Haba.
have pictures, but man, yeah, we used both base games. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
can
I
only
yeah,
imagine.
somewhere.
Uh my number 45 is a Queen game and it's brand new to my list. I just got the big box for it this year on Kickstarter. Merlin. Woo! My buddy
Why did I think it was Fresco for some reason?
no, it wasn't Fresco. My buddy Josh, I was looking at this. I know he'd played the base game, and I said, "How is this?" He went, "Great, get it." So I got it. It's a rondel within a rondel. Obviously, I gotta love this. Stefan Fell put it together, which means things are gonna, the symmetry of the game is probably gonna be spot on. He's good about that. And I'd been mildly interested in it, mainly because of Queen games, but also because hey, it looks interesting. A great theme. My whole gaming group loves the theme and everything. This is not a hard one to get to the table. There's a lot of moving pieces in this one, especially if you're playing with all the expansions. To be honest, the King Author expansion is fine. There's nothing big there. I mean, they add a few extra things, like there's a middle rondel that replaces what you see here. And then if you play the Morgana expansion, which is the newest one that came out this year, it's okay. There's very few things we ever utilize from Morgana. But as a whole, the game offers a lot of strategy, different ways that you can score points. The big box edition is beautiful. That's the one I backed on Kickstarter, and it just came with everything. And oh man, I've really enjoyed this one. Again, my buddy Josh came up with another great recommendation with this one. And I'll be honest, this one has been asked to come out to the table a couple of times. Like after I've shelved it and thought, okay, well, I'll move on, because I got to get other games to the table. I had one buddy who missed a game night, called me the next day, say, I heard y'all played a game about King Arthur and Merlin. I said, yeah. The game took so long because my, it was one of my first weekend playing it. We were just trying to figure out the rules and everything. He said, have you ever done your review for it? I said, yeah, but I'll play it again, if you want. He said, yeah, I got to play this game. So they got kind of a little bit of a buzz around my gaming group. And why not? It's Queen Games. I don't think I've heard you do a Queen game yet.
It's a bit of a role reversal, honestly. You'd think it would be a King Arthur game with a Merlin expansion. I don't ever hear it.
Well, Merlin is one of the central figures in it, so I can kind of see why they called it what it was. But yeah, you could have called it anything.
No, I'm just saying from the simple fact that more people know King Arthur as like the center face, not Merlin, funny enough.
Oh yeah.
It's random, but yeah.
Okay, so what number are we on? 45? What's your 45?
45 is going to be Uno Roboto. I know. An Uno game. It sounds ridiculous.
How do you call it? How you
Uno,
Roboto?
U-N-O, and then R-O-B-O-T-O.
Roboto?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have said Roboto, but
that might be the better way to pronounce it. I suck at pronouncing things sometimes. But Uno.
I don't know. I mean, is it a robot? Is there a robot? There's a robot on it.
It's a robot.
It's a robot. It's
Roboto. You might be right. Yeah. All right.
Look at this little guy. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
It is.
Roboto. All right, go ahead.
So Uno sounds crazy. I know.
This is really the only picture they have. They have a picture of the stupid.
That's what you want. That's the game. That's it. So it's
that's
like
it.
Uno,
okay, so tell me about this game.
Except you have this robot. So what happens is you can play up to 6 players, and you can put your voice in, and you're playing the game of Uno, and you're pushing on his head as you put the card down, and he can dictate and create rules. Like he can just straight screw you over. Like, Bernardo, trade hands with this person, or give this person a nickname. And when you're playing with a bunch of adults, it gets a little out of hand, and It's a blast. And I always like to throw love out for some of my drinking pals, but it's a phenomenal drinking game. It is a crazy game. Uno Roboto goes by quick. It doesn't overstay its welcome like Uno, because if you've played any version of Uno, you know that those can last a very long time. I've never had a game last longer than 25 minutes. So it's...
Oh, wow. Okay. It's a quick game.
Solid. It's solid. And it's funny. It's so funny. The robot's hilarious. That's enough said. It's out of print. It's not a game you'll find easily. If not at a pricier price. But in terms of Uno games, that's my favorite Uno, and I have a bunch. At some point, I want to do a review kind of comparing all the Unos I have, but like that one's like way high.
Wow, this man has Uno in his top 50, folks. that was Uno.
Well, we know your number one's Monopoly, so.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see that. All right, my number 44 is another new game. I'm cranking out the new games now. We were talking about how most of our new games are in our top 50. It is also Stefan Feld. I didn't realize they had 2 Stefan Felds back to back. This is the one that everyone loves. I was like, I don't want a tile placement game. I have it. Castles of Burgundy.
No, I played this one.
In my top 100, not only in that, but in my top 50, the game that I mocked, stuck my nose out of because I was a snob about it. This is the 3-in-1 collection with all the expansions included. Amazon put this on a wonderful sale for like $20. And I was
That
like,
art
well,
little
I gotta get it because everyone keeps talking
diff.
about it. My buddy loves it. Must be one of his favorite failed games of all time, and it's a lot of people's. And I was like, okay, well, let's see. Is it really all that? No, but you have your own little player board like this, and it is kind of dice placement because the dice you roll, you're going to get to play tiles back there. Of course, the tiles are color coded too. What each one of them does counts as something. When you fill out one of those little colored areas, you get rewards. It's like any failed game. And by the way, there's different versions of what the fields will look like if you get that the the copy I'm showing you. There's Feld right there, screaming.
I did not
Look,
picture him to look like that. I don't know what I imagined him looking like. I imagine
well,
him
a guy
having
that
like
creates board games, I was thinking he kind of looked like He-Man,
I was thinking like
but
I can't even think of the name. A guy with a really long white beard has a
oh yeah, no,
cane,
I can see that. I can see
like Lord
that.
of the
Little
Rings.
little graying wizard. Yeah, it kind of stays in the closet a lot. Doesn't come out much. Yeah.
He's under
No,
the
I get
kid,
it. I get it. I get
cooking
it.
up
Yeah,
games.
that's fair. No, this game is all that it's cracked up to be. It is a fun one. I am happily eating crow on this one because I was thinking, no, why this game does not look interesting, does not look good, and it's just really good. I get why people love it so much. So, Castles of Burgundy, finally, welcome to my list at number 44.
That's on my list to play.
All right, what's 44 for you?
44 for me, and I think it may have gone up if not maybe slightly down. It's hard to follow, but Hydro Soakers. So this is a newer game I actually got sent to me.
Oh, right. Yes. Is
I
this game even out?
it is not yet out. It's not yet. I know I'm terrible. I'm
You
terrible.
have put a game on your list
I've put a game
that
on
has
my list
not been
that is
released yet.
complete in its entirety, but it's not yet released.
To be fair though, you have reviewed this.
I have reviewed it,
So
and
in a way, I get it. Now
I
I think I commented on your channel on this. I do love the unique theme, but go ahead.
I love the idea of a whole water gun fight. It's definitely unique. The strategy surprised me. I didn't think, 2-player game. I don't get a whole lot of those to the table. This is again one of my more higher 2-player games, if not the highest. I really don't remember, but the game is essentially you're having a water gun fight. You have your little team, and you are going to those like water sections to like fill up your water gun. You're spraying water, rolling dice, um, resolving hits. It's as simple as it can get. However, there's a lot of upgrades like with those cards that you can do for your characters. I I sold it as best as I could in the review itself. So if you're interested in learning specifics on it, but if you like water gun fights and you're looking for a unique 2-player game, oh man, this is a great one. That's the best I could say for it. It's a lot of fun, and one of the cool things I really like about it now is that they are going to be offering it with the potential acrylic standees, which waterproof game. Let's go. But yeah,
Is that the whole point? Is to make it waterproof now because they called it super. They're basically ripping off super
I
soakers.
think it would be smart. I mean, every water gun is ripping off super soakers if you want to be
Well,
fair.
that's true too. That's true too. Yeah, I get that. Okay. All right. I do like the unique theme. I like
Yeah.
the unique theme. All right. So my number 43, been in my collection for 3 years now. Started off at wow, it started off at 83, moved up to 52, and now moves into the top 50 at number 43. This is if you like Splendor, you may also love Kashgar, Merchants of the Silk Road.
But
This is technically a card game. You have 3 decks of cards. It's basically caravans, and you're lining them up. You start off, you're trying to collect spices or donkeys or gold, as you see there in yellow. You're moving up different tracks there, but you have 3 caravans, and you can only take the action of the top card of any of those 3. Once you do that, and I fell over. Sorry. Once you do that, you
The excitement.
say what?
It's the excitement for number 43.
I know it is. It was. I don't know if that's
What's
going to
with
stay.
all of these names of like these very mystical
Oh.
places that no one's ever heard of or
Well,
just familiar with?
I'm just saying that once you take, well, let me get to this. Once you take one of these actions, you move to the bottom of the stack. So it's basically you're trying to manage these 3 to kind of work in tangent with one another so that you can get these orders. And once you get X amount of orders, you win the game, like 25 points or 15 points or something like that. Oh, I've really ruined this camera here. All right, I'll fix it later. But I do enjoy Kashgar. Usually doesn't look like the game for me, just looks like hand management and stuff, deck management. But if you love Splendor, you will, and I like Splendor too, but this one it has some similarities, but it is different because you're trying to manage and you're adding on to these caravans. So each one of your caravans can be different. There are even cards that can create a 4th caravan, and there are even ways to get rid of a caravan completely, even though it's kind of hard to do. But Kashgar, Merchants of the Silk Road, my number 43.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
All right, number 43 for you in your
43
unique list.
for me is Godzilla Tokyo Clash by Funko Games, the homies. So if you like Godzilla, this is the theme for you guys. It is about as close as it's gonna get. I know there's a lot of miniatures games, like I think Monster Apocalypse is like a newer one that people have been chatting about. But this one, you have your own set deck, and you have kind of your own. Your character has its own ability, and you're running rampage on the town. So you have a board that's made of tiles. Depending on the number of players, depends on how it's positioned, and you can play up to 4 players. And basically, you are trying to defeat each other. So while you're doing so, you're also destroying the town of Tokyo because, that's what they do. You take the building pieces, you can throw it at them. You can take a tank, just flick it at them. You can pick them up and throw them into another character in the game or into a building, and they'll take damage. It is a blast. A lot more fun than I thought it would be. I do say this in the review as well. I think it is a much better 4-player game. Not my favorite 2-player game, but once you get all those characters on that board, it just gets so chaotic and so funny. And the miniature pieces are great. It's like a toy quality, not so much like a miniature quality. So it's like a silicone material. Fantastic game. The theme in the cards itself and how the characters play are excellent. There's a plethora of Facebook groups where people have created custom characters and things like that.
Yeah, I see. That's a custom character.
Yeah, this game's sick. I wish, I would hope that maybe they'll do an expansion one day because this game is awesome and I think it deserves a lot more love than it's been getting. Because if you like Godzilla again, this should be something you're looking at.
It's one of those Target exclusives. I think wasn't it a Target exclusive when it came out? It may not
Yeah,
be now. It may be available to everyone.
yeah,
But
it was at least. I'm not sure what its status is now, but you're correct.
yeah, for a moment, yeah. And to be honest, I knew this was going to be on your list. I thought this may be a top 10 for you because I remember this was all you could talk about when this game came out.
It was.
This is the only thing you wanted to talk about when this game came out. You absolutely went head over heels for this game.
Oh, it was great.
You were a big fan. So I was like, this may be a top 10 game, but it's his top 50. All right. My number 42, been in my collection for 4 years. It's barely made my list at 97 the first year. And I was even thinking, should I have made this a top 100 game? Next year, it went up to 70. I was like, okay, looks like it's going to stay in my top 100. Last year, 54. It has climbed up again. Well, how many spots is it now? 12 spots to claim the number 42 spot. And it doesn't have a pretty cover. It's corporate America.
Hmm.
Have you played? You don't know
I
corporate
didn't.
America? Here's what it looks like. That's kind of boring,
Oh.
you know. And if you look at the board, that's kind of boring. But I will tell you this, it is a negotiation game where you're collecting business, putting business in order, trying to get synergy
Oh, that's
between your
cool.
businesses. And I don't know what that guy's doing in there. Glad that picture's kinky. Man, they don't have many pictures here.
That's corporate America, folks.
That's corporate America. That is corporate America right there. Man,
I like the
terrible
card
pictures of
holder a
this.
lot.
So I'll just leave it on this one. But
Oof.
I can't explain it. There's something magical about this game, and we always have a fun time playing it. I play this with my nephews a lot. You get to run for president too, and sometimes you don't want to just run for president. You back someone else, and they give you a promise. That's why these two people are shaking hands because it's a lot of negotiation going on. You're like, look, I'll back you for president, but you got to promise to pass these three rules so that I can make a lot of money because that's all it is. It's about right making that money in America, and so they say, sure, I promise to do that. Well, when they become president, you open up. I think it's two more options that were hidden, like you didn't know, like you don't know what they are. But when they flip over, you're like, oh, those are much better for me rather than someone else. So last
Can you
minute, and
break promises?
you don't have to follow up with any of your campaign promises. In fact, I've been in a game where
Eh.
someone was voted into president three times during our game, never once kept his promises, but fooled everyone three besides me because I always ran against him. Fooled everyone three times that he was going to do what I mean, because afterwards, when you don't do what you said you're going to do, you always have to have a reason, right? You're like, look, I'm sorry, I needed this, but next time I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I promise. You know. Or oh, I thought that's one you wanted. No, I didn't want that one. Well, I couldn't do that one because it had a negative impact. But yeah, but not on me. Yeah, but it did on this other person. They did give me money too. So I'm trying to think of everyone here. No, you're not. You're just thinking about you. You wanted to get this other person because they had the lead. It's I like I said, that cover is not selling it. Hopefully my description is, but I have a feeling
Politicians.
you just have to play it for yourself. But like I said, the game keeps surprising me. Every time I play it, I think, is this the year it's going to go down? Nope. Keep shooting up my list. I love corporate America. All right. Number 42 for you, sir.
42 is going to be Western Legends. This actually went up from the first time I created my list. I first started off by playing it online with a good friend of mine, and he taught me the game. It is a sandbox game, which is kind of another term if you're familiar with video games, open world, where essentially you can do whatever it is you want. You just have to get to a certain victory point status. You can either do that as a good guy who's catching bandits, or you can do it as a bandit robbing banks. I think you get where things are probably a little bit more fun. And the best part about the game, which I more recently got a chance to play, is with the what do they call it? Ante-up expansion, where you also get this train where you can do train heists. And it's probably gonna climb up farther because I just got the new expansion, Blood Money, which allows you to kind of purchase deeds on property and stuff like that. I really like that aspect of things. Ante-up also um, adds more like gambling to the game itself. The other thing that I also got with mine is a lot of upgraded components because I love that. So you got like real size poker chips and neoprene mat I'll eventually be getting too. They just got to send me it. It's a blast. You get to do everything you would want to do as a cowboy and more. And you don't have to work together. You can choose to catch bandits. You can be the good guy if you want. But let's face it, we know what you want to do.
You know what? This is the number one requested game that people are asking me to get, I think. I hear people scream at me about this one more than any other one. So I should try it. I picked, it was between this and Carson City, and I made the mistake and went with Carson City. I say I made the mistake, but Carson City I was not a fan of. I could not get rid of that game fast enough. But Western Legends with all, I'm a completist. How hard is it to get all the expansions and everything for this game?
I'm sorry. I was
No,
actually like, you know what? I reminded myself I didn't ask them about or I haven't checked the status of this neoprene map they got send me separately. How hard it is to get everything's readily available. There are some Kickstarter stuff like um I forget what it's called, Fistful of Extras and stuff like that. That can be a little bit on the trickier side. Their website will probably have some extras available, but it isn't anything you need. For the most part, the base game and the expansions are going to be readily available.
you can rob a
Along,
train.
yeah, so great, so great. A whole train heist.
All right. All right. Sold. Sold. Now I'd like to. This is one, and I'm going to add this to our Board Game Geek SpringCon playlist because
Oh yeah,
I definitely need to try out what Western Legends.
heck yeah.
Okay, folks, I love T. I've said this before. This is my highest T ranked game at number 41, and it's a blast. It's been in my collection for 3 years now. Was number 42, went to 48, now is back up to 41, almost where it started. So I guessed this one the very first time I put it on my game list, and it's always been zigzagging up and down the same spot. Always good to know that you nailed it just right. And Darjeeling is
Mm.
where it's at. This is another cheap one to get, but it's so much fun. You are basically getting these little tea cart guys, pushing them across these tiles as you're collecting tea. Then you're taking that tea into the market. The market looks a little weird, but it's a very neat mechanic because you're going to take
Hmm.
the bottom circle, whatever that bottom token is, and put it at the top. And however many different type of teas, like if I took that black T on the end. I put it all the way up to the top near that white. Then I have to add up. Let me see. There's 5 different types of T's between the two. That means each cube that I just put on the boat is worth 5 victory points. And then from there, they just double, triple. As people keep putting in orders, your order gets more and more expensive until it's pushed off the board. It's not getting you any points. Now, you can do, and this is the only thing I hate about the game, those bushes, that's the score track. It zigzags like this, like a snake.
Mm.
That's the only problem with the game. I'm not really crazy about that one. I don't know why they didn't try to just go around the board. It would have been better that way. But you are scoring points super fast. Folks, those are wooden boats.
Hmm.
The real deal there. But like I said, you don't want to leave like Green right now. He's killing it. Someone needs to sell it. The game encourages you to sell and sell quick because you can combine as many all the tiles. Let's see if we can look at some of the tiles. You see the tiles are kind of like a quarter of a box or half of a box. You're trying to connect them together to make a box. Now, the bigger the box, the bigger the payout, right? Well, to stop you from just collecting all the red tiles, okay, let's say, and putting them together for some super mega box. Well, the longer that these ships stay on the board, the more points they're generating. Right now, Green is killing it. He's getting 3 times that amount, 2 times the other amount. So the other people, the other players, they need to start selling some stuff because that green, that top one right there, the 3 times, that's the first boat to be removed. The next time someone sells something. So you definitely want to keep selling it. And so the game forces you to continue to play it the right way without hoarding resources or hoarding tiles and whatnot. Oh man, it is. You can use victory points for extra moves, and at first, like I said, you're not going to do that, and then eventually you're like, screw it. I'll weigh 7 points this round because I'm going to make 20 at the end of it. So it is a lot of fun. It is Darjeeling, my number 41. Check that out. Educate yourself on it. It's fantastic. So good. It's got to be a Queen game. All right. So what is you? Okay. Okay.
That should be
I'm
that
going to
should be
piss off
that
every
should
other
be your
publisher,
line.
right? As I
That should be
keep
the
saying, your game's
tagline.
so good, it deserves to be a Queen game. All right. So go ahead. What is number 41?
Number 41, Agent 41, if you're familiar with that game, is going to be Pitch Storm. Pitch Storm is probably the last party game that I have on here. That
Pitch Storm?
Yep, Pitch Storm. Pitch, and then Storm, one word. Yep. And that is, again, I believe it's the last party game on my list here.
Okay, I don't, is it, hold on, that's it?
Yeah, I think it's one word. It might be.
Oh, it may be one word? Okay, hold on, I'll try it with one word.
Yeah, I think it's one word.
Oh, yeah, it is one word. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, cool.
Doesn't matter. Keep talking about it as I bring up the Soul Picture. No,
yeah. So it is a card game. It's by Skybound, who's very popular for like Super Fight, which was one of my more played games early on. But essentially, it is a fast action, very creative style game where you have the way we play is we choose random for each, but essentially the normal way to play is you either pick character or plot. You can look at 3 of them and choose one to use. It'll be a movie plot. Let's say it is
I see.
someone who's on a mission to find their father, and then like the character card would be random or vice versa. We just do random for each, and it could be just Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you're trying to pit. You have 45 seconds to pitch a movie with those characters and that plot, and in the middle of it, the kind of screenplay guy, or who I forget what terminology they use, can pause the time and throw a card down and say, actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be blind in this movie, and he can add so many different elements to the game. It gets from prerogative to hilarious to just wacky, makes no sense, from alien abductions to it's the most absurd game. And if you have friends that are really creative, it gets so funny. And at the end, they choose what movie they think would be the best. I always wanted to kind of play the game and like record like some of the pitches we had, and then do like live video of trying to actually create that movie, because we come up with the craziest stuff. It is a blast, and it really kind of gets your creative juices flowing. So if you like movies and you like party games, this might be the kind of movie or the game for you, because
I know the makers of this game, and I know that Super Fight was a big one. So Pitch Storm is a good idea. That would be fun to play. I'm not for party games, but I would play that. Because I get how it works. Now you said this is your highest party game.
It's looking like it.
Okay, so there you go. So now, folks, no more Uno, no more party games. We're going to get to the real nitty gritty when we get to our top 40.
Next game, Monopoly.